Hey YouTube, today we are in a 2002 Jeep Liberty. This is the KJ body style for those of you Jeep nuts that know the internal designations. Anyway, what we're working on today is customer complaint is that the blower motor only seems to work on high speed. We'll show you. So I don't hear the blower motor on speed 1. Dead silence on speed 2, dead silence on speed 3, and high speed works just fine. It doesn't seem to matter, you know, what any of these are set at. You know, obviously, if you have it on 0, it's not going to work on any here, but on any other setting here, same thing. Those 3 don't work. I'm not going to go into diagnosing these things because 99% of the time it's the blower motor resistor. Occasionally you'll have a bad fan switch, but you can, when that happens, these switches actually feel kind of not right, like crunchy. But we've got high speed fan motor, so we'll go ahead and get to the process for replacing the blower motor resistor. All right, so starting from the passenger side, we're gonna go to the glove box. We'll open it up, and once it's open, you can see that there's some little arms here that you push in. Oh, of course, I push those in on both sides, which then releases the glove box door. Then once you have it kind of in the open position, you can slide it to the outside of the vehicle, so towards the right. You'll get to a spot. You might have to open or close this glove box just a little bit to get it to where it will slide freely to the right. All right, just like that. Now the glove box door is out of the way. With the glove box door out of the way, you'll see directly behind here is the connector for the blower motor resistor. You want to make sure that the terminals don't look melted, or the wires going up to these terminals don't look melted. These are held in, this blower motor resistor is held in with 2 8mm screws. One there on the bottom and one there on the top. Sometimes to access the bottom screw, you'll need to remove this little panel here, and that one is held within with a couple of Phillips screws. So I'll go ahead and remove those 2 Phillips screws just for better clarity, and we'll get back to you in the next clip. All right. So removing the 2 Phillips screws. That panel should just drop out of the way. You can go ahead and remove it. All right, so from here, let's see if the light will help here. All right, from here, we'll be able to get to the bottom screw as well as the top screw. Like I said earlier, the screw is held in with 8mm head screws. So we'll go ahead and remove those now. And since I have the camera in a nice spot, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it from here. As you can see, I'm kind of skipping forward, just removing the screws first. Normally the connector is a pain in the butt to remove in place. You got the little red locking clip, and I just find it's easier to deal with this when when you have the resistor out. So I'm using a flex head ratchet for that bottom screw. Just use anything that fits down there, whatever you got. Once you break it free, sometimes you can go in at an angle with the socket and pull it the rest of the way out. All right, so that's out. The blower motor resistor can now slide out of here. And once I get it slid out of here, I'll show you the lock on the connector. It's kind of tight, but you can pull this out just fine. This might have to finagle the wiring here a bit, but it will come out. All right, so like so, come out just like that. All right, so let me see if I can get a better camera position here for the lock tab. All right, so hopefully that you can see the lock tab a little more clearly here. This red piece has to slide out towards the wires. So sometimes you can use a little pick tool like this to grab at the edges. They're usually kind of stuck on there. So you just want to try to go back and forth on each side here. Hopefully we're in frame. Yeah, I can try the middle. Usually just like that. Usually you just got to go back and forth left to right until that clip pops out like that. So right here where my thumb is, that's the release tab. So we'll go and push this down while pulling on the resistor. And it's going to be a tight connection. So be sure to hold on the connector well so that you don't rip these wires out of the connector. So push down on the lock and the part will come out. You'll want to inspect all the terminals, just make sure nothing's out of the ordinary here. Occasionally you do come across these where things are melted and you might have to do a repair on the electrical connector here, but in this case, everything looks fine. So I know you guys hate it when I say it, but installation is reverse of removal. And in this case, I just picked up a part locally at our parts store. This is a Napa part. So as you can see here, it's a BR 256. Relatively cheap part. And we can move the connector out of the way for now, and we'll just slide the new resistor right into place. Okay. Hopefully we're in frame here so you can kind of see what's going on. Go ahead and reach underneath to get this lower one started. Like so. All right, from here we will just tighten everything up, snug it down. I'll use the flex head gear wrench here, but again, you can use a regular wrench, it just takes a little longer. Snug it down. You're screwing in the plastic, so it does not have to be on tight at all. Just snug it, with your a little bit more than a little bit more than, what am I trying to say here? Just snug it down until you feel it stop and you don't have to reef on it at all. So, just like that. All right, so from here, we can go ahead and connect this electrical connector back up. We'll flip it around to its correct orientation. Make sure that we line up with the male terminals in the blower motor resistor and push in, slide it in, and you should hear it click. Once it's in place and secure, you can reach underneath with your thumb and push on the red locking clip to lock the connector. like that. You should hear a pretty good click. Now, before we put everything back together, what we'll do here is we'll just give it a test real quick. Already we can hear the blower motor turning. Check the other speeds. Perfect. So we've got a good fix here. Now we can proceed and put the dashboard back together. So we're gonna put this lower sound deadener panel back underneath the dash where it belongs. Let's see if I can put that in frame. You want to hook, there's a little hook on the bottom here that lines up with a slot here. So you want to make sure that's engaged. So, all right, and you know it's engaged when it pretty much hangs in by itself like this. There's another clip right here that just goes into a corresponding hole in the dash. It doesn't necessarily hold things in place, but as you can see here, we're pretty much just hanging by the clips. And we'll go ahead and put the screws in. If I can maneuver myself around the camera without having everything just fall to pieces. Without breathing on the camera, I suppose. Okay, there's one screw started. The other one is just out of frame. There's usually witness marks in the plastic, so I'll just line those up with the screws, just so everything's back in place exactly how it was in the factory. Like so. This panel is secure, which is not really held in by anything besides those couple of clips and 2 screws. All right, lastly, the glove box. Okay, so reverse of how we removed it, we'll just line it up right here. So we got that slot there and the corresponding slot on the other side. Just push it in very gently and then slide the glove box door to the center of the vehicle, like so. These 2 clips will just engage once you push the glove box door shut. So from here, make sure all the owner's belongings are pushed in nicely. And there you go. So, as you can see, pretty easy job on these Jeep Liberties. And again, very common failure point. Usually when you lose the low speed but have the high speed, it's almost always a blower motor resistor. So anyway, I hope this video helps. If you like the video and like what you've seen in it, please click the like button, and if you haven't already, please subscribe so you can see more videos like this. And until next time, have a nice day. Thanks.